نتفقوا على بركة الله إن شاء الله في الدورة. هي الدورة الأولى في دعوة غير المسلمين. وهذه الدورة مع الجمعية التونسية للتعريف بالإسلام مع جمعية إكتشف الإسلام مستوى الإسلام بالبحرين. والجمعية التونسية للتعريف بالإسلام هي جمعية مختصة في دعوة غير المسلمين، تعمل على التعريف بالإسلام لغير المسلمين من الأجانب سواء كانوا من السواح أو من المسلمين في جاليات المسلمين، وتعمل أيضا على محو هذه الصورة النمطية عن الإسلام الموجودة في الإعلام من الأجانب وغير المسلمين. هذه الجمعية تعمل من خلال أهداف ووسائل. أنشطتها تعتمد على الخيمة التعاونية وعلى توزيع الكتب والمقريات التعريفية بالإسلام. هدف الدورة هذه هو تكوين إخوة في بنيان وفنون الدعوة غير المسلمين واكتساب مهارات هذه الدعوة. فالدورة هذه ستكون بالإنجليزية إن شاء الله بحول الله. وأيضا من أهدافها هو تخريج بعض الإخوة والأخوات اللي إن شاء الله يعاونوا في عمل الجمعية وفي تحقيق أهداف الجمعية. إذا استطعت سؤالنا استقبال مشايخ من جمعية إكتشف الإسلام بالبحرين، الشيخ فرحات والشيخ فرحات الكندي، جزاهم الله خير. هم حرصوا على إقامة هذه الدورة، وستكون إن شاء الله هذه لبنة وبداية لدورات أخرى إن شاء الله ممكن أكبر وأوسع في فن دعوة غير المسلمين. فنعرف بالمشايخ شيخنا رافض الطائي هو عراقي الجنسية، حاصل على شهادة الدبلوم العالي في الطيران في مدرسة طيران في اسكتلندا. عمل كطيار مدني في شركة الخطوط الجوية العراقية لمدة 10 سنوات. ترك العمل كطيار والتحق العمل في الجمعيات الخيرية الموجودة في أوروبا وآسيا وأفريقيا. يعمل حاليا مدير مركز إكتشف الإسلام في مدينة الشيخ في بالبحرين. والشيخ جزاه الله خير يمتلك خبرة أكثر من 20 عام في مجال العمل الخيري والدعوي والإباحة. شيخنا فرحات الكندي، فرحات محمد ناصر الكندي، وهو المؤثر في هذه الدورة. عماني الجنسية، حاصل على شهادة البكالوريوس في المحاسبة من جامعة أركنساس في الولايات المتحدة. مقيم في مملكة البحرين، وكان يعمل في شركة طيران الخليج. والشيخ يعمل الآن بوظيفة مرشد ديني أول في مركز أحمد الفاتح الإسلامي التابع لوزارة العدل والشؤون الإسلامية. الشيخ يمتلك خبرة أكثر من 20 عام في العمل الدعوي الخاص بدعوة غير المسلمين. له خبرة في عمل الدورات التدريبية للدعاة. الشيخ قد قام بعديد الدورات في ماليزيا وفي البحرين وفي سلطنة عمان. ويأمل من خلال هذه الدورة أن يصل بالإخوة الدعاة المتدربين على الطريق الصحيح للعمل الدعوي الخاص بغير المسلمين. فجزاهم الله خير. أرجوكم. وقبل أن أحيل الكلمة للشيخ رافع، ملاحظة على البرنامج صار فيه تغيير. احنا بعثنا لكم البرنامج بالايميل لكن فيه تغيير. فالبرنامج كما ترون اليوم الخميس نبدأ الصباح في برنامج المساء الساعة 4. اليوم الأربعاء الخميس. يوم الجمعة غدا سيكون أضفنا في المساء أضفنا حصة. ويوم السبت سيكون يوم كامل وأضفنا في براكتيكال تطبيق في جامعة الملك المؤنس جامعة العابدين القديمة. ويوم الأحد سيكون يوم كامل في التطبيق. سنقوم بخيمة دعوية في سيدي بوسعيد وثم نرجع هنا في الختام والتوقيع. جزاكم الله خير. وكلمة الشيخ.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أحييكم تحية الإسلام الخالص، تحية أهل الجنة في الجنة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مركز إكتشف الإسلام مركز له عبادة في العمل الدعوي والتعامل مع غير المسلمين. أنشئ سنة 1987، يعني يعمل من 26 سنة. طبعا بدأ بلبنة صغيرة وتطور وفق الظروف الخبرات المتراكمة خلال السنوات حتى وصلنا إلى العالمية في الأعمال. يمتد العمل من جنوب شرق آسيا من ماليزيا وتايوان وحتى الصين إلى البرازيل وأمريكا، وطبعا لا يخفى حتى شمال أفريقيا الآن وأوروبا. طبعا العمل الدعوي هذا فتح من الله عز وجل، يحتاج إلى شروط ومقومات. شروط العمل الإخلاص أولا في النية، الداعي الذي لا يعني يجدد نيته ويخلصها لله سبحانه وتعالى ويجعل هذا العمل خالصا لوجهه يفتتن. عندما يسلم أحد يشعر بالفخر والزهو، فيجب أن يكون هذا مرجعه ومآله لله سبحانه وتعالى الذي جعلك مفتاحا لهذا الخير. والشيء الثاني أن تكون عالما بما تدعو، عالما بما تدعو، عارفا بمن تدعو، عارفا من تدعو. يجب أن يكون عندك خبرة ودراية بكيفية الدعوة. دعوة غير المسلمين متشعبة، لأن أنت تدعو أناس يعني عندهم مذاهب وأديان وعقليات وأفكار لها أول ليس لها آخر، فتحتاجون إلى الخبرة. وأنتم الآن في هذه الدورة المباركة مع الشيخ فرحات سوف يعطيكم الأساس. نرجو منكم الاستماع والإنصات، ونرجو منكم المتابعة والحرص الشديد على متابعة كل النقاط، لأن هذا قد أتيح لكم ولم يتح لغيركم. هذه الدورة أتيحت لكم ولم تتح لغيركم، وهناك طلبات كثيرة في العالم أنه تقام مثل هذه الدورات عندهم. نحن لا نعتمد على الكم ولا العدد، نعتمد على النوعية. قد يكون هناك دعاة يعني قلة، لكنهم لهم إن شاء الله يعني يفتتح الله سبحانه وتعالى يفتح على يديهم خيرات كثيرة. ليس هذا العمل يحتاج إلى عدد، يعني في البحرين نحن على عدد الأصابع، لكن نواجه عشرات الألوف من غير المسلمين. عندنا برامج طبعا في البحرين نستغلها استغلال أمثل، مثل برنامج الفورمولا 1، برنامج السباق العالمي الذي سيكون غدا في البحرين يوم 19 أفريل و20 و21. نحن مستعدين لهذا البرنامج مدته 6 أشهر. كل عام نحن نستعد لهذا البرنامج. عندنا برنامج العيد، ثاني وثالث يوم العيد، الفطر والأضحى، نستقبل السياح في مسجد الفاتح الذي ترونه يأتون بالأمن. عندنا السفن السياحية مثل ما عندكم الآن في ميناء حلق الوادي الذي تأتي فيه السفن السياحية هذه الكبيرة، ويتدفقون السياح بالآلاف من شهر نوفمبر إلى شهر أفريل، حوالي 6 أشهر هم يتدفقون. أكثر من 100,000 سائح يزور البحرين، فنحن نستعد لهم بكل ما أوتي لهم قوة. فلله الحمد الذي جمع قلوبنا أنه نعمل لطاعته ومرضاته ونشر دينه ونصرة نبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم. نريد أن نعرف الغرب هذا الدين العظيم، نريد أن نعرف الشرق هذا الدين العظيم، نريد أن نعرف غير المسلمين بهذا الدين العظيم. فأنتم الآن إن شاء الله يعني نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى يجعلكم دعاة ومفاتيح للخير ومنارات الهدى إن شاء الله، وجزاكم الله خير. مع الشيخ فرحات الكندي إن شاء الله ستقضون 4 أيام فيها محاضرات وفيها يعني أفلام تعطيكم التصور الأولي، وهذا ليفل 1 الدورة. هناك ليفل 2 و 3 طبعا. الذي يتطور في عمله سوف تكون هناك متابعة ميدانية من قبلنا عليكم، ولن كنا بعيدين، لكن سنكون قريبين جدا منكم، نعرف الأشخاص بالاسم وبنوعية العمل، ثم يكون هناك متابعة حتى تكون هناك دورات أخرى، وسيكون هناك دعم يعني بالنسبة للكتب والأفكار والبرامج التي ستقومون بها في تونس إن شاء الله. ما أريدكم تستعجلون، هذا الباب كبير، أريدكم أن تأخذوا الأمور بروية وبتؤدى وبتأني، لأن هذا يعني يحتاج أنكم يكون عندكم خبرة تراكمية ما تأخذوها إلا من خلال يعني تعاقب الأيام وتعاقب البرامج. فنسألكم أنكم تتعلمون وتتدربون وتقومون بما يجب عليكم من برامج حتى أنتم تحصلون على الخبرة التي وصلنا نحن إليها. جزاكم الله خير الجزاء. أسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى يبارك فيكم وفي أعمالكم وفي القائمين، خصوصا نخص بالذكر الأخوة في الجمعية التونسية للتعريف بالإسلام. جزاكم الله خير.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد الصادق الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I greet you with the greeting of Islam, the greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm really honored and feel privileged to be here today with my brothers and sisters in Tunisia, which is, I feel now, my second home. I've been very, very touched by the warm welcome we have received and the hospitality from the brothers here in this center. I want to thank Brother Sufyan for his introduction and the brothers in this center of Islam in Tunisia for warmly welcoming us and giving us this opportunity to share with you our experience, our knowledge of the way to promote Islam among the non-Muslims. Alhamdulillah, you're all educated people, you all have knowledge in your specialties. But we have something that we want to share with you, which has been very successful in Bahrain. So, inshallah, during these 4 days we have these workshops, I'll be sharing with you how we approach the non-Muslims, particularly try to share with you the knowledge, give you the skills and the techniques, how to talk to non-Muslims, how to answer their questions, how to give a tour inside the mosque, how to remove their misconceptions. And we'll try to use different ways and approaches, but I want you to be part of this. I don't want to do all the talking. I want you to participate. So after each presentation, I will give a chance for you to ask questions. I want you to participate with me. Inshallah, I'll learn also from you. I want you to give me your feedback. Maybe there's something that you know that I don't know. So don't expect that I know everything, I don't know everything, but whatever I know, I'll share with you, inshallah. Now, before we proceed, I just want to cover some things. We have already talked about, Brother Sufyan has already mentioned to you about the program changes. So we'll have additional, you have to keep that in mind. And we'll be having breaks after 1 hour, I'll take a break. 45 minutes maximum, maybe we'll take 10 minutes break. There'll be, of course, question and answers for 10 minutes also. And if you have any questions, just raise your hand and I will be happy to answer that. If you cannot wait till the end, but I prefer you write the questions. So at the end of the presentation, we can address the questions separately. Regarding notes, don't worry about the notes. We have the notes ready. We have given the management here a complete set of notes, and we have the PowerPoint presentations that you can take with you afterwards on condition that you stay with us till the end. So there will be like a bonus for those who complete the program with us. And we have also other complicated things we'll be giving you, inshallah. So I want you to focus with me, to listen attentively and follow up with me. We will also require that try to write your names in front of your table so that I can address each person by his name. Already I got to know some of you, but maybe some people I don't know. So I prefer that you keep your names, like you put the name tag, maybe next time you come, you put a name tag in front of your desk. Now, let me start from with a small historical background. To sound clear for those in the back, I hope everybody can hear me clearly. If I'm speaking too fast, slow me down, okay? I tend to get fast sometimes. How did I get involved in the Dawah program? You know, I'm an accountant by profession. I didn't study Sharia I'm now taking Sharia classes, but before that I was a student. I was in the US about 23 years ago, and I was studying there, and I was not interested in doing Dawah. It's not my priority. I had other priorities. But subhanAllah, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who guided me to this field. And this happened actually without any planning on my side. I was lucky that I knew English before I went to the States. I'd studied before in Africa. I was born and brought up in Uganda, and I used to study English from when I was small. So I was fluent in the language. So there was a lot of requests from the university, from local schools, from the prisons, from the churches, for somebody to explain about Islam. So they used to come to the university and say, do you have any student who is a Muslim who can come and give us a presentation about Islam? So I was the only one who was capable at that time, because most of them don't know English very well. So what happened? I was put into this position. At first I didn't know much about Islam, except the basics that every Muslim knows. So what I did, I started by researching, reading more, understanding more, looking for more references. slowly I built up my information. So I used to go to the churches and give speeches about Islam on a selected topic. For instance, like Jesus in Islam, what is the position of Jesus or Isa alayhi salam in Islam? Regarding what are the common things that we share, Muslims and Christians, like Abrahamic faiths. So we would have dialogues with the Christians and the Jews. We used to have visits to the jail, and it's one story to share with you. I used to go with the local imam of the mosque in America. We had a local imam, and we used to go and visit the jail and see the prisoners on Sundays only. They used to allow us to go on Sundays. So we used to go and sit and give them like small dars lecture for 1 hour. Then they would have any questions, and we go back. This normally bring them sometimes some literature, some information about them to read, and they were very, very interested about Islam. And mashallah, you found that those people, they were very, very well behaved, better than the Muslims outside the jail. So I used to go back and forth. On the last visit I went there, I was leaving this prison, and there's a security guard. When you enter, he has to inspect you and check you don't carry any weapons or anything like that. So he stopped me. He said, wait. So I said, I'm in trouble now. Maybe I did something wrong today. So he said, tell me, what do you do to these people? What kind of magic you are doing to these people? I said, what magic are you talking about? I'm not a magician. He said, no, those people that you talk to, when they leave this jail, they never come back. Whereas the other guys, who are Christians, when they go out, they keep coming back and again. You continue this magic. This is very good magic. Keep doing this. So I was really, impressed. I told him, this is what we were teaching them Islam. But of course, for him, he thinks magic, like we have done magic to them. He cannot believe it. Most of the other criminals, when they go out, they commit crimes, they come back again. Fine. Now, today we want to share with you about a very important concept, the ATMT. Now, you may wonder what's the ATMT. It's already there. Means awareness through mosque tours. This is an important concept. It's a new concept that we have come through it. We have attained this concept through experience. 15 years now we're in the field doing this da'wah through the mosque. Now I know that Tunisia is, mashallah, has better mosques, richer in history and more beautiful and more popular than our mosque. But at least if this concept would be applied here, it would be very, very effective. It's what we think. And alhamdulillah, we have seen this idea being practiced, as our brother Rafiq has shared. My brother Abu Ali is mentioned that we have in Malaysia now a lot of mosques applying this concept. We have in Turkey, some mosques are doing this. We have in Hong Kong, in Singapore, in Europe, in other places also they're doing this, even in Germany. So the concept is now spreading. I've been to Oman also, I've tried to explain this to them, though they have not applied it in full. But it depends, each country has its own different situations. Now, let us start our, Bismillah. So we have first to discuss about the issue of non-Muslim guests in the mosque. This is a picture of one of our guides. It's a group of non-Muslims inside the mosque. So this is a new approach in outreach and dialogue. And it's a program pioneered by Islam, Bahrain. And it is intended for promoting understanding and awareness of the Islamic faith and culture among non-Muslims through a guided tour of the mosque. Now this, of course, has to have certain, we call, procedures. You cannot just take a non-Muslim inside the mosque. In most countries they don't permit you, so you have to study all these things in detail. Sorry. The concept. These are the topics I want to address now. First of all, what is ATMT? So this is the concept of using the mosque as a da'wah tool to introduce Islam to non-Muslims. And I will be showing you that there are many reasons why this is effective. Many non-Muslims, they have never been inside the mosque. They're curious to know how it looks like inside. They are attracted towards the beauty of the mosque from outside. If you see the mosque from outside, they're taking pictures. Many of the Europeans, the Westerners, they like to take pictures from outside. So the issue that we have to ask first, is it allowed? Is it permissible for them to enter the mosque? Secondly, why is it so important that we take them inside the mosque and show them around? And what is our experience? So I'll be sharing with you our experience in this field. Now, we have already explained the concept, what is ATMT. It is aware through the mosque tour. These are some of the pictures. What do we mean by awareness? It is on two sides. We have awareness for non-Muslims and for Muslims. For the non-Muslims, they want to know about Islam and the faith, the culture, the concepts, and the significance of Islam to humanity. They want to know how is Islam today applicable to us, or how is it relevant to us. On the other hand, Muslims also have to know, we have to have the importance of this tool as a dawah tool. There are so many tools out there. You can do dawah many ways. You can do dawah by giving lectures, you can call for conferences, you can have seminars, you can write in the newspapers, you can use books, literature, but we are discussing today about an excellent opportunity for discussion with non-Muslims inside the mosque. Okay, this is what we mean by ATMT. Now, the mosque tour has to be done in a very structured and skilled way. It's not just like any other way. You have to know how to do it to be effective. So if I just take somebody inside the mosque, don't just take pictures and go out, they don't get anything. Today we have so many mosques in the Muslim world which are open for non-Muslims. But how many really benefit from that visit? Nothing. I've been to Turkey, Istanbul, they have the Blue Mosque. It's a very beautiful mosque. And many thousands and thousands of visitors are coming there, but just pass by, take pictures and they go. They don't know anything about Islam. We used to have the same thing in Malaysia, same thing in other countries. This is a waste, really a waste. So many of them, they want to know what is this, what are they doing, what is that part, what is that prayer, what is that member, or what is this called, what is this, they don't know, nobody tells them anything. Unfortunately, some countries make it a point not to talk about Islam. But in most countries now, they are allowing some explanations about Islam in this matter. So we have to do it in a very structured, and you require some training in the approach and methodology. Now, you don't have to be an alim, scholar, to do this job. You can be somebody who has the right aptitude and the necessary interest to do this job. You don't have to be a Sharia graduate. You just need some basic skills. You have to have good language skills, communication skills, and the interest and aptitude for this job. So if you have this, we can train you. There's no problem. So it's not that difficult. Don't think it's a very difficult thing. But you have to know the necessary way to do it. Now, the issue of the non-Muslims coming inside the mosque is the most difficult issue. In many places we have had criticism. Even in Bahrain, when we started out, we had a big problem. Many people are doubting this will work. Said, how come non-Muslims are allowed inside the mosque? It's not allowed. Now, of course, excuse me, we have not done without checking with their scholars. We have inquired from the scholars in Bahrain who are well known for their piety and righteousness, people of knowledge. And they have given us a fatwa that it can be done with certain conditions. So what are the conditions? We have to get permission first from the authorities. So we have to get permission from the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and Justice. They have to have a good reason to visit, not just for touring and only. It's not like that. There has to be a purpose. And they have to observe the proper dress code. And they should respect the decorum of the mosque. They should not do something which is un-Islamic inside the mosque. Now, what happened was, before we started this in Bahrain, the government allowed them to come and just take pictures and go. It's like a tourist site. The brothers who were working in the mosque called us. I was working for Discover Islam at that time. That why don't you send somebody to explain to these people? They asked us so many questions about Islam and Muslims, how we worship, why like this, why we don't know how to explain to them. They didn't know how to explain in English. In any case, we discussed with the ministry and we came to an agreement that Discover Islam will be allowed to set up a small office in the mosque and start these tours. And I was chosen to establish this program in Al-Fatih Mosque. That was 1998. Before that, they used to come and go, volunteers would come and go without any proper setup. When I was officially dedicated for this job, then I set up the proper procedures, how we can do it. So it took us about 15 years to get to this point. So today what we'll be sharing is the knowledge of 15 years summarized for you. Inshallah, you find this useful for your purpose. It doesn't mean that you cannot use this information outside of the mosque. This information can be applied in any situation. It's just that you have to adapt the information. But we'll try to first teach you according to the way we do it in the mosque, and then you can take from there what you need to apply in other situations. So it's very, very flexible. But it's like the way we do it now is like being tested, and it's proved by experience that it's been very successful. I'll be telling you more about this, inshallah. So we're going now to the basis. Why then is not a problem for us? What is the reason that it's permitted to allow non-Muslims inside the mosque? First, we cannot make something haram or prohibited without a proof from the Quran or the Sunnah. This is a rule known. You have to have explicit verse in the Quran that prohibits to do something. We know only one verse in the Quran that doesn't allow, that's about numbers to go to Makkah, the holy mosque of Makkah. It's prohibited for them. But other mosques, it depends on the Muslim ruler of that country whether they want to allow or not. There's nothing in the Quran that says they cannot go to any other mosque. So we believe that this is one of the reasons that Rasulullah himself, he allowed Christian delegations, he had a Christian delegation from Najran, to come and stay in his own mosque, Masjid Nabawi. And they used to stay there, sleep there, pray there for many days. And they used to discuss with Rasulullah about issues. So we know that this took place. And many delegations who were like from Taqif, they used to come, and they were not Muslim. They would allow them to sit in the mosque and discuss with him. Some prisoners were kept in the mosque. One of them was Thumama. He was a polytheist. Thumama ibn Athan was Sayyid al-Yamama. He was the head of Yamama, and he was caught by someone who was trying to go for Umrah and was caught on the way and was brought as a prisoner. He used to be enemy number one for the Muslims. But Rasulullah, he tied him, to let him be tied so that he can see the Muslims, how they behave, how they treat each other, how they pray. So after 3 days, each time he come, how are you, come to Mama, what do you have to say? I have nothing to say, you know. If you release me, I'll be grateful. If you want money, ransom, I'll pay you. If you want to kill me, you have somebody who will fight in revenge for me, something like that. So every day I would ask and smile, leave him alone. After that, he just said, release him. The moment he released him, he went outside, made wudu, out of Medina, they made wudu and came back, made shahad. Because he was touched by the way the Muslims treat him, how the Prophet ﷺ was kind to him. Because many people, they don't know about Islam, because why do they hate Muslims? Not because they hate Islam. They don't know anything about Islam. They have wrong idea about Islam. So they're afraid of Islam, or they become, out of ignorance, they take wrong positions towards Islam. And this applies to the majority of the non-Muslims today. Majority of them, they don't know even the ABC of Islam. Simple issue they don't know. I'll give an example. I get visitors, they come from America. It's supposed to be one of the most civilized countries with superpower today. And I ask them, do you know what is the Kaaba? They don't know what is the Kaaba. Where is it? They don't even know where it is. Okay, the big black, the big black box. Okay, what is that? So this is where Muhammad is buried. Muhammad is buried inside the Kaaba. Can you believe this century? You ask them simple questions, they don't know. You see? Some people think we worship the Kaaba. This is our God. Some people think we worship Muhammad. Some people think so many things that we are only terrorists. We don't believe in, except in terrorism. And Islam is not, doesn't believe in the prophets Isa or Musa. It's a totally different religion. They don't have anything in common with us. So many misconceptions out there. We have the media in the West that promotes a wrong image about Islam, distorted image about Islam. So it is our duty as Muslims today to correct this information, to correct these misconceptions. And our objective in this tour is not to convert anybody. It is to teach them the correct Islamic principles, to explain what really Islam is, and to clear the misconceptions, and lead them to their own decisions. So it's not our objective to convert them, but if they become Muslims, it's their choice. Alhamdulillah. But our duty is to tell them about these issues, about Islam. So our objective is different. So we have to see now what is the significance of ATMT. Okay. Now with the non-Muslims, okay, we have a benefit here. Why the mosque? Normally, if you go to the West, I've been in the US, it's very hard to bring up this topic of religion. If I want to talk about religion, it's very hard. You have to have a valid reason to, because nobody wants to talk about these issues like private matter for me. Why do you have to ask me about my religion? But in the mosque, it's normal, it's perfect. In fact, he expects you to talk about your faith. He is inside the mosque, so this is a perfect place to talk about religion. It's naturally expected, there's no problem about this issue. So you have an opportunity already, the place provides you the perfect environment to introduce this subject to them. Secondly, they want to listen, they're ready to listen to you. They are not like busy with other things, like if you're in the office or they're in the other places, they're watching some other programs, or maybe they're with their friends, they cannot pay attention to you. Maybe they're eating dinner, they don't want to talk about these things. But subhanAllah, when you come to the mosque, they are keen to listen, they listen to everything you say. They pay attention, they ask questions, and it's easy to communicate with them. It's very, very close communication. It has a very powerful impact on them. So this is why we need to use this technique. It's a very powerful tool to convey Islamic information to them. This is the best approach I've ever seen. The most important or effective tool in talking to non-Muslims within a short time. The two may last half an hour, but they live with a totally different image about Islam and Muslims. So you have, just a minute, skip something here. So it is an ideal place to discuss about Islam. See, this mosque is in Kazan, Tajikistan, in Russia now, or former, Russian Republic. And this beautiful mosque, from outside, it's very attractive. Our mosque is it attracts them like magnets. If they see the mosque, they come like ants. Like those, when we say lamp at night, all the flies are coming, sent like that, subhanAllah. I have visitors who said, I just came from the airport. I didn't even go to the hotel to check in. When I saw this mosque, I told the taxi, bring me here, I want to see this place. Immediately. Even he didn't go to the hotel to check in for his home. Many people are telling me like this, we pass by this mosque, we cannot resist, we want to come here. We cannot help it. SubhanAllah, it's so powerful. So we find that this is an ideal place for da'wah to the non-Muslims. Okay? It also serves as a bridge. Okay? Now, in many places, you can't find a way to bring them close to you. There is a need to have some common issues to discuss. So we have to talk about the common beliefs that we have. When we talk to the non-Muslims, we tell you have to discuss what is common between them and us. You cannot actually bring something totally out of the way. They don't understand. You have to first talk about what we share in common. And so it's a bridge between us and them. Then they come to you. You don't go to them. You don't have to worry about them. They will come to you anyway. You just keep an ad outside the mosque or in the newspaper that the mosque is open, they are coming. MashaAllah. You tell the tourist companies, the tour companies will bring them to you. It's very easy to get them. Thirdly, you get more outreach. If you set up a da'wah center like this one, very few non-Muslims will come here. If you have like an advancement, one or two maybe were ready to become Muslims. But there have been thousands coming there because they're coming for tourism. They don't come for da'wah. They don't know it's going to be anything about that. They come just to take pictures and have a good time. And then it's a place of peace and spirituality. When they enter the mosque, they feel peace. They feel sakina. They feel the beauty of the environment. They totally are absorbed. They feel, I'm in another world. Many of them say, I feel like God is close to me here. I want to stay here. I don't want to go out. He feels like he wants to stay in that place. So alhamdulillah, we get people stay with us for hours. They want to discuss. They find really ready to talk about these things. Okay. Now, regarding to the tour itself, it provides one-to-one contact. This is very important. Most of the people become Muslims through personal interaction. Not just through lectures, but when you interact with somebody one-to-one, face-to-face, he feels very close to you. Then he can open up. Because if you talk in a public situation, a big lecture, like a big, you don't have that personal touch. It won't affect them. But when you have a one-to-one basis, it's absolutely amazing. Okay? And it's the best opportunity for informal interaction. Okay? Now, we have tried many, we don't only depend on this way, we have many ways to do da'wah. But I find that this is the best way to get the people, especially the Western non-Muslims. With the other people, you can get them many other ways. They can come through da'wah interactions and through maybe make some functions like at the European house. But for the Westerners, this is the best way to get them. Okay. Now let us see achievements. Okay. Many of these people come to the mosque. We have had many experiences. They come with totally different impressions about Islam. Okay? When they come, first they think is it safe to go in or not? I've had many people hesitating at the entrance. Should I go? Should I not go? So you come, hi, how are you? Welcome. You want to come? Please come in. You welcome them warmly. And once they see the tour, they see how you treat them, they go back with a different image. Muslims are not bad people after all. They're nice people. They're friendly. They're welcoming. And they will respect at least the Islam and Muslims. They won't be your enemies. You neutralize them totally. Believe me, I've had people shaking at the entrance. They're afraid that there's a bomb inside. They feel that maybe someone's going to blow them up, you know. So please come in, welcome, you chat with them, you break the ice with them. MashaAllah, they go back with a different image. Some of them, they say, now I'll defend your faith. I'll tell my friend that all the stuff that you read is all nonsense. Islam is not like that. Islam is a good religion. Peace for the people. Muslims are good people. And he will be defending us. So we have some who also become Muslims. Many people come, then they get impressed, they come back second time, third time, they discuss with us, they sit with us, and then mashallah, after some time they become Muslim. So it's absolutely amazing what can happen in this one. And they express, of course, their comment. We have some, this is an article written by one non-Muslim named Naman Arora. He mentioned that he's been to the mosque the other day with had the opportunity to visit the mosque and with his grandparents and parents. So normally the non-Muslims will bring their relatives also. When they come to the mosque, they will bring their relatives, whoever is visiting, they bring them to the mosque. And he was thrilled by its architecture and cleanness. Moreover, for the first time in my life, I had the opportunity to visit the mosque. For the first time in his life. And this applies to many people. This is their first visit. I urge everyone, especially non-Muslims, to visit this place and take advantage of this great learning opportunity. But about the faith, it is an energizing education center, excellent tourism and peaceful prayer center. See, this is a non-Muslim writing on his own about the visit to the mosque. So they find it to be important, I mean, absolutely amazing experience for them. This another person wrote, his name is Franklin from Australia. He wrote a letter to Mr. Said, one of our tour guides. It is difficult for me to explain how much I enjoyed our discussion that afternoon. I've never been made so welcome in any mosque anywhere in the world. I learned so much about Islam from you. See, this is absolutely a very powerful tool to introduce Islam to the non-Muslims. They normally feel grateful at the end of the tour, and they tell their friends that I'm telling all my friends about my experience in Bahrain and the great hospitality I received from you and the Imam. If you ever visit Australia, let me know so that I can go somewhere to pay your hospitality. So what we are saying is, the mosque can be an effective tool for da'wah. So if it is possible, I don't know, in Tunisia, of course, we have different rules here, different regulations. This is how to work it out yourselves, but I'll be telling you what we have had, what we've experienced, and you can try to apply it, even on a small scale. Of course, you know better about Tunisia than I do, but from what I've seen, you have a great potential for this job. There's so many beautiful mosques, like Zaytuna Mosque, you have the Qairawan Mosque, you have so many beautiful mosques in Tunis, which are very, very ancient, which go back to a very long time. Whereas our mosque is just 23 years ago. See, you have beautiful mosques which have a lot of history behind it, and you have more tourists coming here than in Bahrain. We're getting only maybe 500,000 or 1 million tourists. You're getting, mashallah, about 6 million on average a year. And this is a perfect opportunity for you to utilize this tool for da'wah. Now, there's another gentleman. This brother is an American US Navy soldier. This is the guy, when he came, he was hesitant to enter the mosque. He kept looking at me and going back. He was like discussing with himself, was debating whether he should enter or not. So I said, why, please come in. He said, okay. He said, can I? I said, of course you can come in, welcome. So we brought him in. And since that time, mashallah, he became totally, said that day changed his life. Say, the day I took the tour to the mosque to think, I didn't want to go, but I figured I would be ready. All of a sudden I was so curious, so I went inside, I don't know what to expect. Immediately I was welcomed. Never in my life, and through my travels around the world, have I ever seen what was taught to me in the Bible reflected in human beings' conduct until I walked in the mosque. I've had a spiritual experience at the moment that I cannot forget. It's absolutely amazing. Never in my life have I made a more important decision, and never have I felt more confident to make a decision. I'm ready to revert to Islam. He embraced Islam. We took this picture after he became Muslim, together, me and Sayyidina. Sayyidina is on my right and on the left. He was so touched, he was crying. like a baby. Many people start crying like children when they become Muslim. They feel something in their hearts they cannot explain. But he came 2 or 3 times. After that, we started with him. He had some questions. We had to clear them for him. He made wudu. He tried to pray. We let him pray with us just for experience. A minute after that, he became Muslim, subhanAllah. So this is some of the benefits you see. This is another gentleman from Malaysia. He didn't go there to become a Muslim. He went to visit so that he can take pictures and have fun. This is his objective. He said basically, one wanted to have nothing else than creating humor and best having fun, but ended up making a life-changing decision. A decision that not once it would have entered your mind, not mine. He made 3 visits in Shahada. So here is saying that the strange things I came to visit the National Mosque in Kuala Lumpur. This is called Negara Mosque, a mosque in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I came as a tourist to take some pictures of the building, but what happened? He became a Muslim. See, how many people now like him, we have actually now missed them, okay? See, this is, okay. I'm giving you some examples of real life experience. This is not fake. These are real people who came to the mosque and became Muslims. And they're expressing their views. They only come for fun, to see the beautiful building, to see the, what is inside, out of curiosity, just to see something different. But what happens? They become Muslims. So how many opportunities we are missing? And for how many years now this has been going on? And who is responsible for this? Are we not responsible in front of Allah to do something for these people? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us, "Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal maw'idati al hasana wajadil billati ahsan." Invite all the mankind, all those who need to be invited to the way of Allah with wisdom and beautiful preaching, and argue with them in most gracious manner. Rasulullah, our Qudwa, our Imam, he told us, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." Just convey even 1 ayah on my behalf. Okay? Khutbat al-wada, he said, فَلِبَلَّغِ الشَّاهِدِ الْغَائِبِ. Who is here present with those who are not here. Da'wah is a duty. We have to do it. كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ مُنكَرًا وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. We are the best nation. You are the best nation ever brought up for the mankind. You command what is good, you forbid what, and you believe in Allah. Surah Al-Imran. And so many verses there. So we Muslims have an obligation. We have to do our job. This ummah is not ummah, it's just like any other ummah. It's ummah to risal. We have to convey the message. But the issue is how to do it. How to convey the message. We have to understand first what is Islam and how to talk to non-Muslims. Non-Muslims are not like Muslims, different mentality. As my brother Rafid, Sheikh Rafid Abu Ali, he mentioned, we have to understand the mindset of the non-Muslims different from the Muslims. So you cannot always quote from the Quran and Sunnah. They don't believe in Quran and Sunnah. Some don't even believe in God, but some don't even believe in anything about the wahi and things like that. So we have to approach it in a different approach. We have to understand what are the problems which are preventing them from becoming Muslims. You have to know what are the misconceptions they have in their mind. So you cannot just impart information to them. First you have to do download, then upload the information. So there's 2 procedures. You have to download, then upload. So if the glass is full, this is full of water, you cannot add more water, it will flow out. First you have to throw this water out and then put the clean water inside. Is everybody understanding what I'm saying? Is it clear? Am I going too fast? Is it difficult for you to understand what I'm saying? Please explain. If anything, stop me. If you don't understand, you can stop me and clarify. Maybe I get carried away sometimes, I talk too fast. طيب, الحين, let's see now about Bahrain. So this is the experience of Bahrain. We have had 25 years of experience, 15 years, from 1992 to 1993, that's when this ATMT program was started in Bahrain. So the mosque was opened in 1988. It was built first 1984 and officially opened on the 2nd of June 1988. So it took 4 years. But the work to do the tours was started in 1992, 1993 as an idea became clear that we need to do something about it. But nobody did anything till 1995 to 1998. So it took some time for us to understand there is a need. So there was nobody there to tell us about this. We just came to realize there was a need for this problem. There was a need, the problem to be addressed. Then we had the regular tour since 1998 when I was appointed there officially as a senior coordinator. So that's how it started. And we used to have about 2,000 visitors a year. That was like, at that time, only 2,000 visitors. But alhamdulillah, now we have increased to be more than that. You can see now, we have daily tours, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day. I've seen visitors till Salat al-Isha. And it's now difficult for us just to keep them away. They keep coming, even Salat al-Isha. But we try to officially say 9 to 4, maximum maybe 5, so that we don't interfere with the classes in the evening. People are learning about Quran, so we try to stop at 4 o'clock. But sometimes they keep coming, we remain till 5 o'clock. We have big groups sometimes. We have the US Navy, 5th Fleet, based in Bahrain. Twice a week they bring us 100 people, 70 people, maybe more, maybe less. We have ministers of countries visiting Bahrain, prime ministers, heads of state, army generals. Yes, I've taken many army generals, senior commanders, admirals on tours. They come to see the mosque as part of the culture tour of Bahrain. We have students coming from schools. Most of them are foreign schools, British school, French school, other schools. They come to see the mosque to know about, and they have this cultural religious studies. So we get so many visitors of all kinds. But the best visitors are those who come who walk in. And we have this special occasion called the Eid Open House. Okay? Now, the Eid Open House, I'll be talking this later on in detail. It is a special program. We understand that people like to enjoy themselves. So everybody wants to have a good time, to have fun. Eid is a special occasion for Muslims. So we found that on Eid, many non-Muslims, they don't know where to go. There's no place for them to go. They don't feel, so we say we have to give them a chance to feel what is Eid. So the idea was that we'll make a small tent and some refreshments and bring them to come. So we did this first in 1998. It was only about 40 to 90 people came. Within that, less than 100. Small setup, very simple. Then we started adding more corners, more other activities. We had tours of the mosque, we had refreshments, we had books, we had calligraphy corner, we had henna corner. MashaAllah, it now grown to be more than 3,000 that are coming now. Each Eid. We have 2 Eids, Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr. We have 2 days for each Eid we have for them. So the first day is for us, second and third day we give it for them. MashaAllah, the mosque is full of people. It's very, very effective. And they take up the books, they take up other things. So this some of the corners I'll be explaining to you later on in more detail. Now this is to give you the results. Now we're getting more than 70,000 visitors from 2,000 within a short time. It's a great achievement. And they're impressed by the architecture, by the friendliness and the faith. And they're mostly popular to the non-Muslims. Non-Muslims, they love the mosque. For them it's something unique. They cannot do this in their country. Most of them in their countries cannot do this. They love to come again and again and bring their friends. And we have some groups that take this on video and put it on YouTube. You go to the YouTube, you put Farhat and Kindi, you find a lot of videos about this. You put other tour guides, you find them, put it on YouTube. They share with their friends. And some record and show their TV for the TV and other newspapers. So here we have impression. How to get their feedback? We have the guest book in the mosque. After the tour, they can write their comments. So get sometimes, mashallah, very beautiful. All of this is excellent. It's a wonderful experience. We learned a lot about your faith. Thank you for this opportunity. God bless you. We feel that we have learned a lot today, and we wish this idea could be applied in other places. Every time it's excellent. Rarely find somebody saying it was bad or had a bad. No, mashallah, all of them are very happy. It was well done, and we enjoyed ourselves. We appreciate your hospitality and so forth. And we have, like I showed you in the newspapers, write good comments about it. We have some people sending us emails and other citations. So these are ways we get the feedback. Now, I want to stop here for some questions now. This is just an introduction of the concept of ATMT, awareness through the mosque tour. And what is the significance of this concept? Why is it so important? Why we should apply this? And why? What is the results of this thing? So that you can understand what we're trying to do. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you have any questions about ATMT, about the technique? The concept is very simple. Tour of the mosque, and if we are doing this tour for the non-Muslims, you're using the mosque as a tool of da'wah. This is what we're saying. It means using the mosque as a way of achieving your objective of conveying Islam to the non-Muslims. So it's a tool. There are many tools in da'wah. You can write books, If you're a scholar, you can give lectures. If you're a scholar, you can give cassettes, you can CDs, DVDs, you can do Da'wah on the internet, through email. There are many ways. This is one of the ways. And we found it to be very effective because there is a one-to-one contact. Because in the email, you don't know who's on the other side. It could be a missionary, it could be somebody pretending, you don't know what. But on the face-to-face, it's totally different. There's a lot of, we call the interaction is there. So you have more interaction, more better results than through the other ways, which are indirect ways. So we find this to be one of the most effective means that we convey. And our experience has been well documented. Alhamdulillah, now we have a manual, complete manual, how to do the tours with the structured details, step by step. When I started out in this job, no manual, no training, and nobody to tell me you should do it, nobody. It was like try and error. We didn't have any proper system, no proper, because it's a new idea. Nobody had done this before. So you're going to get it ready-made, something done for you on a golden plate. You just have to learn it and apply it, very easy. So we are saving you all this trouble, 15 years of experience, we got it, give it to you in one day. So we're saying this concept is very beautiful, it's very simple, it's very effective. Okay? Anybody has any questions or clarifications? Yes, sir.
My question is about when I get someone for the Da'wah, I will, there is some topics I have to speak about with him, or I just wait for the question and I answer the question.
Barakallahu fiqh. Brother Sufyan, mashallah, is an excellent question, but I'm going to answer this later. You're ahead of me. I'll just explain you the concept in brief, but we'll explain now when we do the tour of the mosque. What you should say, there's many aspects of the mosque. So we have the objectives aspects. We have to explain what is the objective for the visitor, what is the objective, what is the interaction aspect, how to interact with the non-Muslim, what is the information aspect, is where you come in. What should I say to the non-Muslim? What is the information I have to, so we have to know how to present Islam. And what is the important things to present in terms of priority. Okay? So this will come later on in the presentation, inshallah, we'll cover that. And of course, we have to understand the segments of the tour itself. We have which areas to take them, how you're going to do it, which place to start, where to go next. So there has to be some kind of a plan in that respect. So this is just like the beginning. Inshallah, we'll discuss about the topics, yes, later on.
I think that the tour in the entrance is free for
Yes.
the Muslim.
Yes.
Do you think that if we in Tunisia something will be put in place, something like that, and will be paid? Because the government, I think, will accept such structure only if he will get money
And return. In Bahrain, we don't charge anything. I don't think it's a good idea to charge money for the non-Muslims to enter the mosque. Actually, it gives a wrong impression from the beginning. It's like we're trying to make money out of them. We don't take money even for them. We give them books, Quran, free of charge. They get shocked. No money, nothing. Said, yeah, it's free. It's a gift. Because this is the religion of Allah. We should not charge them for this. This is not our deen. It's aman from Allah. The idea is that if you put a barrier, somebody doesn't have money, then you lose the opportunity. Besides, to give the wrong place, these people are just trying to make money. So from the beginning, said, he's saying this because he wants to get money out of me. So besides, if he pays money, he expects to get his worth of the money. Now I've seen, actually, I've been on the net, I've seen some comments about some visitors who visit Tunisia, and they complain, we paid money and it's not worth it. They only took us to the front of the, and we cannot see anything inside. They commented negative, that's not worth going there, because they charge you money and they cannot see everything. So be careful, I would not recommend you take money for this. It should be free. Yes.
Sheikh, in last international forum we distributed free books for non-Muslims, and most of them were happy because they were free. But there are few people that were not happy because they were free. They told, as you distribute them for free, so you want to manipulate us, and we do not accept. They were afraid because they were free. Few people, but it exists.
It's true. There is an issue here. We in the mosque, we don't charge anything for the books because it's actually, we're not allowed to buy and sell in the mosque. Inside the mosque, you cannot buy and sell.
Yes.
But if you're outside, you can charge. If to cover your expenses, you can make it a small amount just to, if you feel some books are very expensive to print, you can put a nominal, but it should be outside the mosque. Technically, inside the mosque, it is not allowed to buy and sell. So since we're in the mosque and most of these books are donated to us, like by the Discover Islam or by the ministry, pay for, so we don't have to charge them. But if you find that there's a need to charge, you're not inside the mosque, you're outside the mosque, there's no problem. But you should put a nominal fee that they can afford, or you can see the person, their situation. If they want to pay, let them pay. Technically, we don't take any money for the books, but I believe that if you're going to have a problem with printing the books, it's very expensive, and somebody is, they can afford it, why not, they don't pay for it. I don't recommend that all the books should be charged, only like Quran translations, which are expensive to print. Some things which are leaflets, you should not charge for leaflets. Something small leaflets, pamphlets, should not be charged, which are very cheap to print. Some books which are thick and important, then you could charge a certain fee for the books to cover your cost. It should not be for making profit, just to cover the cost as minimum cost. I've had so many visitors in Al-Fatih trying to give me money. After the tour said, thank you, we're very happy. You take it. I said, I don't want. I said, I'm happy to show you around this market. I said, no, please, we want to show, we're very happy. We are happy to give you the money. I said, no, I don't take money. You are my guest. I'm happy to show you around. So you do have this certain situation which may be a bit tricky, but you have to be smart and diplomatic in handling it. So the West, they don't want you to make a favor on them. They feel that if you give me something without in return in their society, means there's something else behind it. So they want to make sure that they pay you, so you cannot say I did a favor for you. This is their mentality. But in general, most of them, they don't mind taking free with certain material, but some people, they don't want to take without paying. So what you can put a donation box. We do. If you have to pay, put in that donation. It's for the poor, for the needy, and for helping the organizers. You can put a donation box there. If you want to donate, no problem. The book is free, but if you wish to donate, you can put your donation there. That's okay. So you can have a donation box as a solution.
Okay.
It's another idea. So you can use that funds to reprint the books or to support the organization. No problem. Any other questions?
Yes. About calling the masjid mosque.
Yeah.
I read this article saying that the origin of the word mosque
is from Spain. Yeah.
So, is it
actually
is it true?
I don't know if it's true or not, Allahu A'lam, but I didn't go into the detail, but the proper word of course is masjid. It's better to say masjid, this is the proper Arabic word. But in English, if you're talking to the non-Muslims, they don't know masjid. So not to confuse them, you have to say mosque. But for us as Muslims, we should say masjid. Technically, it should be the masjid. And that is the proper term. But masjid is not an English word, it's an Arabic word. So there's no other translation now in English except you say house of prayer or the way. So the best thing is the mosque what we have. But I don't know if this term correctly refers to what they talk about. This is something has to be investigated. But technically you can say masjid, it's okay. Or Muslim prayer house, there's no problem. So we have the terms, sometimes the terms may be confusing for different people. But majority of the English speaking people, they say mosque, they don't know what is masjid. Say masjid, they don't know what you're talking about. So when you're communicating with the non-Muslim, you have to use the same language, same terminology to be effective. So, yeah.
Excuse me, sir. I think mosque in English, it has another meaning. I don't know exactly, but meaning of, how can I say,
it's not the same. It means, according to what I've seen, mosque for the Muslims, it means the place where Muslims pray, like a temple for the Muslims, or like a church. They said this is a church for the Christians, Jews have a synagogue, Muslims have this is known throughout. Yeah. Of course, the origin of the word may have been negatively understood. Maybe it was intended to be that. Allahu Akbar. But technically now, the common use for mosque means a place where Muslims pray. That is known. But the word masjid has a root word, which is the place where you prostrate to Allah. It means where you prostrate. The masjid, Arabic word, means the place of prostration. So that is the technical source of the word masjid. So where you do prostrate to Allah. So we could say mosque is a place where we prostrate to God Almighty. It's a place where we dedicate for worshipping Allah. There's no problem. We can say it's a place where we worship Allah. And this is like a terminology that we're using to explain the place. There's no problem with that, as long as there's no negative connotation. But I think you're right, if you use masjid, it's better for describing the mosque.
Yes, in the guide the tour, did it happen to you to separate men from women in the tour?
No, we don't separate, unless it's, like what we do, we have lady tour guides for ladies, and men tour guides for the men.
Yeah.
But sometimes they come together, husband and wife, one family, you cannot separate them. So we have one person taking it, it could be a man or a woman taking all of them, depending on the language requirements. if they're all English speaking, so we have an English speaking tour guide for the group, or could have somebody speak like if they're Russian, someone speak Russian or German or French, like that. So it depends on what is the requirement. Are they all, I must suppose they're all ladies, so it's not nice to have a man taking all the ladies. Rather have a sister to take them. If it's only one lady, also it's not good to have one man taking one lady. Okay, it will not look nice. So you prefer to have a lady tour guide for the ladies and a man for the man. Or you could have a man for a group, something a big group or families, no problem. So we do have sisters, ladies, to handle ladies, if there's only like one-to-one, and we do have men for the men. But if it's a mixed group, either can take, either the lady can take for mixed group or the man can take for the, depending on who is available. So there's a shortage sometimes of tour guides. You may have shortage, so whoever is available, we take them. But as much as we can, we try to avoid having one man with one lady or one lady with one man. This doesn't look nice inside the mosque. It's better to have a bigger group, yeah.
In general, I think we should make this outside of the time of the prayer. But perhaps we can find in the mosque some people who are making prayers, who are reading Quran. So we should disturb them, or not?
No, see, we have officially, once you get the permission, depends on what the government tells you. So we are told this is the timings. So after Salat al-Fajr, you have official now, 8 o'clock they open, but we start the tours at 9 o'clock. And you have till 4, but you stop. When the time for Salah comes, you have to get them out. Before 20 minutes or 10 minutes before the Iqamah, you have to take them out. So where do we take them out? We take them to the balcony. We have a balcony in the mosque that's upstairs. They can stay there and they can watch. Or you can take them to the library. They can wait in the library. So normally, we don't let them to be in the mosque while the prayer is going on. Unless they can go to the balcony and watch the prayers, or can stay in the courtyard, or sit in the balcony to watch, if there's a necessity for that. Now technically many people in Bahrain are accepting of this. They don't mind to see non-Muslims inside if somebody is with them explaining, but before the Salah we have to take them out, before they make the Iqamah. So there's about 20 minutes between Adhan and Iqamah, so we try to bring them out. Now you can see in your situation, it's not allowed technically, so you can keep them in a place where they can watch from a distance. In Malaysia they have like these glass doors. They stand behind and watch people from outside. They're in the courtyard and there's a glass door they can see through. This is another possibility. In other places they put like a barricade between the main hall, the last part of the main hall, so they can watch from a distance. This is possible. Another way is that you can keep them in a library. There should be a waiting room. You can have a waiting room or sitting area. If they come